and welcome. I'm John, and this is Unique Wargaming Terrain. Guys, welcome back. Something I want to say quickly before we start talking about this week's build. Last week's build, the helipads, an amazing idea, nicely put together. The paint job let me down. The problem was I was rushing. Okay, I wasn't thinking things through. I was just making snap decisions. I was on holiday. I was trying to push out as much content as possible, and I rushed it. So what I've done is I've given it a quick undercoat. Okay, just to get rid of all that crap I had on there, and I'm going to redo them, but I'm going to take my time with them. Okay, and when I redo them, I might even just make it a quick little short video, like repair video or something like that, or just, you know, I don't know yet, but I'm not going to rush them. I'm going to get them done nicely. Okay, so just a quick update on that. If you're this week's build, okay, we're going to do some trees. So guys, I'm going to show you some easy ways to make some trees. I'll see you in a second. Right, welcome back. So if you're new here, guys, this is nice and easy. Everything I do is nice and easy. I try and save as much money as possible, because more money we save, that means more money towards paints and models and, you know, game systems and, you know, good times. If you're a regular here, guys, I feel love, thank you very much. So I'm going to talk you through something I did before with trees, and it worked amazingly. And then I'm going to talk you through what we're doing today. So what I did before, I got grape stalk, so a bunch of grapes, took all the grapes off, left with the stalk, and then snipped all the ends off with repair clippers, and snipped off the bits I didn't want to give me like a sort of looking like a tree. Then I got a cocktail stick, I snipped it in half, and I glued it to the bottom. So there's the grape stem. There's a cocktail stick, so I hanged over like that. Okay. What that was, then I could put the cocktail stick into a piece of polystyrene, so I can hold it. So with polystyrene, I can have them all in there. Okay. Then what I did was I got a water-based varnish in a rattle can. I sprayed it down. Okay. I think I sprayed it 2 or 3 times over the course of 3 or 4 days. Just kept every day just kept giving another spray, different angle and everything else. I took it out, I mounted it onto like a sort of like semi-hill, flopped the hill and everything else. That's all painted up nice. Well, I put them in first, then I fill them still, and then I, you know, painted up and flopped it all. And then the tree itself, I just got clump foliage and I PVA glue and just like gluing it all around the place. And that was great. It was so good, in fact, that when I sprayed the sealant onto it to seed it all nicely, there was actually a cobweb in the tree. I didn't even notice. So it looked absolutely fantastic. The problem was, it looks amazing, but the problem was, after about 2 weeks, it looked like dandelions. There's big puffballs, bits that I missed with the varnish. And so because it had been sitting there, and you know, this place isn't lit up when the light's not on, so it was just started growing into mold. So I throw it all away. So it's a good idea, but you don't know if you've done it 100% until, you know, at least a couple of weeks later. You know, some people say, oh yeah, but you can get bits of twig and put it in the oven and dry it. You can do all that, but for cost wise, you're using the oven, which is using electricity. You're then doing all your work and still, you know, having to wait. But as with the grape seed, the grape stalk, you're buying the grapes and you're using that as well. So and it looks natural, so you don't have to paint it. Okay, but so anyway, you could go down that route, but it's just very hard to make sure you've got it 100%. The only other way to do it 100% is to have, say, a pot of varnish, put it in, take it out. But the reason I used a spray can was it's water-based varnish. If you can get that in the tin, then you could, you know, dip it in there and you could be grand. Okay, so this week's build, I come across some of this galvanized wire for home or garden. Okay, it's 1 millimeter thick by 30 meters. So it's €1.50. So even if, you know, if I can't get on with this with trees, which I don't see why I can't, this would be good for making fencing, barbed wire fencing. Even though I showed you barbed wire videos before, how to make nice and easy barbed wire, this could be used in conjunction with that, in case you haven't got any of the little plastic twisty things. What I'm talking about is the little plastic twisty things that you get on kids' toys, that or electrical wires. When you have something electrical, they're all wrapped with a little twisty bit of plastic. That's what I used on them. But go back and check that out. If I remember, I'll chuck a link to that so you can have a look. But yeah, so there's still more than one use for this. €1.50. And kitchen foil. Again, I think that's about €1.50 or €1 or something like that. We'll use a blade. Now, the reason we're going to use a blade is to cut this open. Okay, we shouldn't use a blade after that. Clippers. Now, safety items you're going to need. Goggles. Okay. You'll need goggles when you're cutting it. I'll tell you why. If you're cutting in, it flips up, it's not going to hit your knife if you've got goggles on. Okay. You can always hold it down and try and clip it at an angle, so it just, if it does flies towards the bottom, it should do anyway. Gloves, another thing. I'm not talking latex gloves or rubber gloves. I'm talking some nice thick gloves if you've got some. You don't have to use gloves because you're handed anyway, but it's on chemicals, but it's just so you don't cut yourself, okay? But the gloves are up to you. I'm probably not going to. These, yes, but gloves, no. Yeah, so that's what we're doing this week, guys. So sit back. I got given out to as well for not having the camera down, recording myself painting last week. So I do apologise, guys. I was in a rush. We're going to do it properly this week, guys. See you in a minute. So before I bring it down and start showing you, I've just started. It feels really nice. It's really lightweight. The end is very sharp, so just be careful. You're going to see what it's like to cut if I start sculpting away and working away. Okay. Very easy. Just stay going like those silly strings that go down the stairs. There. Okay, so that was, I snipped it with the cutters, and it was, I didn't cut, but there's a little dent in it. I'm going to snip it again, it just come away. So nice and easy. And it is actually pretty. This actually feels like a giant paperclip. You know, when you get the paperclips and you pull it out and you start messing around with it, that's what it feels like. So actually, will be pretty nice to. Should be pretty easy to do what I want to do with it. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to try and put it down and make a circular type base at the bottom. Two reasons: one, to make it sturdy, and two, so that point at the bottom there. Okay, you can't see it with my hands on it, but there's a little point here just by my finger. Okay, doesn't stab me or anything else. Now, I don't really want to glue this to anything yet, and then start having to try and work away where it's all glued down. I would rather, I would rather do it first and then start gluing to stuff. Or if I want to do it so it's just actually freestanding, so I can put it, I can just have like a weird shaped piece of board and flock it, and then the trees can sit on it and they can just be left on there. They can move around, or whatever, you know. I'm not sure. Probably make some that fixed and some that don't need to be fixed. But for the minute, I'm just gonna cut another piece and see how it winds into each other. Nice and easy. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that through the bottom there first. Twist it around. I would if it stayed where I wanted it to stay. Let's put you through there. It's very tricky. What I'm doing now is wrapping it around to a certain height and putting it off like that. Okay? You make that how I've done. I just twisted it around and just brought it off. First one comes up here. I've turned it over so I don't stab myself on it. The bases you have to be careful because there's quite a few ends now. Okay? So every time I cut one, I'm going to do the same thing and just put it off a different way. That's the idea. But anyway, I'm going to crack on with doing some more of that, and I'll come back to you when I'm, you know, ready for the next stage on this one. Okay, guys? See you in a minute. Okay, guys, so I've done a couple of them. This is the third one. Okay. Now, I said at the beginning of this, I can't edit it now, so I want to correct myself now. I said you don't have to wear gloves. Now, I didn't wear gloves, but I should have, because my hands were so sore from doing it. Just the twisting of the, you know, the wire and everything else. So now what I've done, I've got some tin foil. You don't need to pull off big strips. All you need to do is pull off a strip, okay? And what I do is get one end and sort of tuck it round so it sits on the inside. And you just keep wrapping it round. Try and get it as tight as you can. Now, there's little bits that are going to stick out like this. Okay, where my finger is. Don't worry about that, because I'm not gonna show you, we're gonna experiment with 3 different ways. Okay, so just be careful when you're wrapping it around, because little bits like that, okay, so these little bits here with my fingers, they will stick through, and that's okay, because we're gonna sort that out afterwards. This silver tin foil is not only to give it structure, to give it texture as well, and it allows you to work off an easier surface. If you were trying to paint this, you're going to have a hard time. If you're painting this, it's a lot easier. Let's wrap that round. So I still haven't got gloves on. I should have gloves on, because it, you know, it's just, it's a lot easier with gloves on. Now I've taken off this big piece, too big. Just put it off, make it small enough. And you don't want to try and do the whole thing. See, I've just done one little section. Okay, the lighting's going to be very difficult on this, because it's very bright and this is reflecting all the light. But anyway, take off a little bit. So I'm going to tuck it round and try and take just little sections at a time. Now this one in particular, the middle section here, is very loose, because when I've done some of these, I've started from top here and worked up. I've been working from the bottom. See that little middle part in the middle there? Right. Now, something saying you said three different ways of doing it. So you've got 3 different trees here. Okay, I think this one's the better one. I took more time on this one, but these ones just, you know, I don't know which way to do it to make it the best. So I'm going to try all three different ways. You know, and you can comment below and let me know. So I'll take glasses off. So what are the 3 methods? One of them, and it's in no particular order, I'm going to undercut them all. I'm going to base them first. Okay, hence why I did that at the bottom. See that? It's all curled around, so it has like a little stand I can glue it on. I'm going to glue it to a base first, probably a little foam ball base, because from there I can then glue it something bigger if I want to and mix it in. It's not a problem. But one of them is just going to be all undercoat black. One's just going to be clump foliage. Okay, just clump foliage all over. Probably be PVA glued and then dipped in. Okay. The next one, I'm going to get bits of off-cut expanding foam and just push them into the ends. Okay. And hot glue them here and there and all that. You know, hot glue or put onto the ends and just here and there, and then put the clump foliage on it to see, you know, how's it look, because the expanding foam bits of off-cut will give it a bit more, you know, volume here and there. And the last one, this may not even be used on this one, but just for example, I'm going to get some green scouring pad, which you use washing up with, and I'm going to cut this off and I'm going to hot glue them on, probably, you know, on the ends and just here and there. And then I'm going to polish that, so you know, different shades of green. Now that's the better one so far. Just me looking here, that's the better one. These ones are just a bit not rushed, but I've just stuck them together because I don't know which one, you know, they'll go well together. They all look work nice and well together, but I wasn't sure which one to go with. But before I even get to that stage, the first thing I need to do is this is still a bit loose here and there, so I need to run a bit of hot glue into it. Okay, just to seal it all together. And wherever one I put the expanding foam bits onto, when I hot glue them on, I'm going to leave it to dry and run a bit of hot glue over the top, just to not seed it, but sort of seed it, so then when I can use a spray can then to spray them, rather than have to sit there and paint them with a brush. I can just spray them all black with a spray can. Okay, so that's where I'm at, guys. I'm going to hot glue them now, and I'll come back to you probably once I've hot glued them and based them. Okay, see you then, guys. Right. There's 3 things. Glue them to the base first, okay, before you leave that to dry with hot glue before you start running hot glue down it, just to seal the gaps of them. Second thing is, when using hot glue on there, I've got to say, it's metal, it's going to hold the heat. The armature's under the wire underneath is metal, so it's going to hold the heat. And the third most important thing, because they're absolutely a pain in the arse the way I done them to glue to a base. I actually use a round slot base, glue them to that, then glue them to a bit of foam, because the foam can easily be glued to other stuff and it can be filler mixed and everything else. What I should have done is, I'll show you on here actually, let me cut a piece off and show you. I should have, okay, had the piece and bent the bottom like that, okay, and used that as the base, and done that 3 or 4 times around the bottom, so you have 3 or 4 of these bits along the bottom, because it's easier to sit on then. Because the way that I did it with the little curl, my first thought was that that's a great idea, but it doesn't hold the tree. There's not enough balance to hold the tree. It's a pain in the ass, but after a lot of patience, I've got them. They're standing. They're on 2 little strips of foam board. But what I might have to do is get a few bits of off-cut polystyrene and just cut and bevel the edge, and then cut the foam board and glued that onto it, and then just mix the whole piece so it's like a little mound of a tree on it. They could easily be put together, or they could easily be put onto an area together to make trees, or it's not an issue. But I actually really like that. Apart from the pain in the arse bit at the beginning, now I know what I'm doing. I've still got all of this. So I'm probably thinking I'll give them an undercoat and everything else and test out, do the expanding foam, do the, just the flock, and do the scouring pad with the flock, and whichever one I like the most, I'll try and make up as many more of them as I can over the next couple of days, and just try and mass produce them. If I have got time, I'll even try and do like a proper like hill with tree forest on it, but that's if I have time. Okay guys, so I have to go, so I'll be back in a minute. See you soon. Right, so I've primed them all. Okay, this is the one with the expanding foam put onto the end. So you can see that it looks a bit weird at the moment, but the expanding foam, when it's all dry, I'd give a base coat on the, without knocking it over, and I give a base coat on to the bark itself. The expanding foam bits are going to be flocked, so it gives you like a little bushy. Okay, this is the plain one, which I'm going to do some flock onto, but like the end, let's see this end here, I'm going to have to bend that round. Yeah, I'll probably bend it round this way, so give me like a little nook to glue stuff onto. I'm not happy about this long, see this long, where are we? See the long strand? That's hot glue. I was trying to seal the foil, and this bad boy, I'm gonna put the scouring pad onto the ends and hot glue on. Just hot glue it like around, okay, each bit, and then when that's hot glue, so it'll be dry in a minute or so, and then put some PVA glue on and flock it. Okay, and then we'll go from there. I just thought I'd show you this before I get too far ahead. Now, in all honesty, this is an easy way of doing things. This is a pain in the ass with the expanding foam, because you have to hot glue it on, then hot glue the expanding foam to stop it from melting from the spray. Okay, so but you have to make sure you get every single part of it, otherwise it's going to start melting away. That's a tricky one. A good idea, but very tricky to do. Much like the first idea with the grapevine and the flock and the varnish. This is a simple idea, very easy. This one, I think, hopefully, it's simple to do, but hopefully it turns out and it's like absolutely amazing with the flock contrasts itself against the green scouring pad and all of that stuff. So I'll come back to this later on and just start working away on it. I want to make sure it's perfectly dry before I actually start doing stuff. Now, some of you are going to say, but what's the story with the foam bases? Now, they can be left like that. This one can't stand on its own, so I'll have to weight this one down the other side. But they can be left like that, or you could put them on, I might even just mount them on a little tiny bit of polystyrene. But we'll see how we go with that, because I'm starting to run out of time, as usual. Anyway, guys, see you in a bit. So, the Undercoat Black, I've actually give them a sort of a wash down, sort of paintbrush down, well, paint with a little bit of water here and there of some burnt umber. Okay, as you can see, there's little bits of it that's still, that bit there looks a little bit wet still. What I'm going to do is, I've got some Bane Blade Brown, okay, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a dry brush. Now, for some bizarre reason, they don't always want to stand up as they should be. So, but I think that's my design flaw for the base, which is not an issue. With these, I'm not going to base them, like, fill and mix them and all that sort of business and put them on some sort of like little, forest area. I'm not going to do anything like that with these. What I'm going to do, I'm going to finish this off, but when I do put them on something like that, I'm going to show it to you in a video with the flying pads, the heli pads, all finished and nice. But I also want to try and do some more of these trees, but do them the other way, okay? But do them off camera, so I'm not, and then talk you through it afterwards. But that's, another day. Right, so I'm going to start with this guy. Now, one thing I will say, if you can see, where are we? You see the base here? Okay, so this is all wire here I'm tapping, but it looks like root system kind of, so it's pretty good. I'm only going to dry brush one because the other two still look a little bit wet. So let's get some Baby Brown. My Baby Brown, I think, is on its way out. It's getting a bit tacky. And the reason I'm using Baby Brown is because it is a layer paint. It will go on bright, dull itself down. And the only thing with this, see how wobbly that is. That's the only thing I'm not happy about, but I don't know if that's from my design or if that's just the way it is, unfortunately. You can see what I'm doing. Just give me a quick dry brush down. Something else down here as well. Where are we? So the camera. Can you see that? Okay, just by my thumb, the hook. Yeah, what I did was actually just, it was sticking out, so I just bent it around. There's one mistake here. Okay, it's just started to open up just there. It's a pain in the ass, especially at this stage, but nothing to do about that. So these are just an experiment to see which one's the best. And already I've learned about the legs, how to do legs better. There's one dry brush down. Right, I'm going to give the others a couple more minutes and then dry brush them down as well. I'm going to flock this first piece. Actually, yeah, I'll come back to you when they're all flocked and ready, okay? Because it's not, I don't need to show you what I'm doing, because I've talked you through it, and I'm going to talk you through it again at the end anyway, so see you soon, guys. Right, so cost-wise, I picked this wire up for €1.50, and as you can see, I've got loads of it left. So it's €1.50 for that. Tinfoil, I think, was a €1.20 or something. Let's just call it 150. So that's £3 so far. And then the slot bases, I've got a whole tray of those. You know, a whole toolbox full of those. The bits of foam off cut just to glue them to. Again, they're off cut pieces, so you would have thrown them away, or you keep them for your little nicky bits here and there. And a bit of paint, bit of flock, bit of hot glue. So you're talking maybe around a fiver, shall we say? €5, $5. But I've still got all of this left. Okay, so I can make so much more. I've got all the tin foil left. It's not, so for a fiver, I can probably make a shed load of trees. So guys, I'll show you the close-up pretty pictures in a second, and see you in a second. Right, I've got a lot of flapping around right there, but I haven't finished. Two of them I haven't done fully because I just wanted to do a little bit and show you so you can see it, and when I show you, you'll understand. Right, but let me just talk you through this little setup first of all. Okay, this lid here is from the expanding foam tube, yeah? So I've got some PVA glue in there with a lolly stick, nice propped up off the way. Paper on the ground, so all these bits that you can see, okay, can be scooped up and put back into the mixed flock jar, okay? So, but you still used. Right, what do I have here? This is one lid. Now I've got dark underbush, I think it's called here, and I've got light underbush. Now what I've done in this one is I take some of each, put it in here, and I use this to mix it up. Because I started putting on the dark one with the Ames bit light one on the top, and then realised it looks a bit silly, so I mixed the two and it works out okay. So what I'm going to do is show you my least favourite one, okay, and talk you through that, then go to the next one, okay. So hold on a second, guys. Okay, this is my least favourite one. This is the expanding foam bits on it. As you see, I didn't bother doing these ones. I'll tell you why straight away. You can see the big bit missing. It started all falling off. You know, it's just put it on, it started falling off. Now it goes on. It looks okay. Let's see, it's just falling off on it. It's not, I mean, it's sticking to it, but it would be something that would be like probably a day or so before it's firm enough, and then I'd probably have to go over it again and again and again. So I'm not happy with that way, but I think earlier on in the video I did actually look and go, oh, actually, no, I don't know. The idea is sound, first of all, but it's not perfect, you know. So anyways, that one. There's this one. This is one with the green scouring pad. Now, as you can see, I've done some of it was green scouring pad, just on strips and hot glued them on. Here's the rest of it. Yeah, so you can see there's still bits of green scouring pad coming through. So what I would do with that is when this is dry, I'd probably get a little brush and just give that a different shade of a green, or I could put a bit of PVA glue there and just tap some more flock onto it. Okay, it's not too bad. Again, look, I haven't done underneath here, because to do this bit, I'd have to wait for it all to dry, turn it, and then do all the underneath parts. So again, this is a very good idea, but just not, for me, it's too much flapping around. I mean, with the green scouring pad, you could, how it is like this, leave it to dry, or even before you glue it, it'd probably be better, get a fork, and just put a fork in and just give it little flicks out, and they'll just fluff it off in different directions. The green scouring pad also, when you're putting the hot glue onto it, hot glue on, it will try and drink the hot glue. Okay, we put PVA glue on, the PVA glue tries to go straight through it, so just, you know, be aware of that. Again, so look, it has taken to it nice. Okay, now I've given them all a little spray with a hairspray just to try and help seed it, because I PVA glue it, and once it's still wet, I give it the hairspray. Okay, then it's still sticky, so if there's any bits that's missing, I can then reapply flock to it because it's sticky as well. And then when it's finished and it's all dried and cured, I can then go, okay, look, I missed a bit here, missed a bit there. Okay, but I'm going to show you my favourite one now. That's it. Nice and easy. You know, when I first looked at this one, I thought, oh yeah, I'll do it this way, but it's not going to be that great. I think that looks absolutely amazing. Now look, there's a little bit of wire hanging off the top here, just in front of my finger. See the silver? But that's, again, not an issue, because I can just put a little bit of PVA glue there and just wedge a bit on. It looks absolutely amazing. The difference with this one, when it came up to the top here, like I think it was by mistake, I didn't squeeze, I had the wires too close together, and I didn't squeeze the go away fly, didn't squeeze the tin foil close enough, so it made like a little platform, which was actually perfect. Again, here, look, this little bit here, sorry, the camera's really messing up with me today. This little bit here, there's a little wire that comes up, so I just ran the PVA glue in there and put the flock into it. Again, there's a little bit on top here that needs to be just addressed, but that's, again, it's not, a little piece over that side. Yeah, see it? It's not, again, it's not an issue. I actually think that one's a lot better. I'll see you in a second, guys. Right, guys. So in this video, there's been 3 prototype type trees made. My least favourite expanding foam. I didn't make the whole thing, just the ends of expanding foam. It's the other one is okay. Just a tried and trusted, old reliable, absolutely fantastic. Okay, actually, let me show you. Let's show you quickly. That is my least favourite. Okay, you can see it. Probably back. So the light's gone really weird here today for some reason. Well, I haven't got the other. Go away, fly. I haven't got the other light set up, so it's weird. Anyway, see the back of it there? It's just crap. Don't like it. The amount of clump foliage doesn't even want to stand up. Stand. I'll show you the clump foliage that's come off of it. Much clump foliage has come off, and it's still wet. It's still PVA glue, and I can feel it. Again, this one, okay, it's still pretty good. I mean, if you don't have flock or you're limited to just, you know, stop flocking it, you can use scouring pad. With fork, like I said, just give it a little flick out. It won't look great, but you know, you're playing a game, it doesn't matter, does it? Cheap and cheerful. That is just, but again, the problem with this one is the foil started coming open. But that's me, first time using foil on to make a tree armature. Fantastic. Now, one other thing I say, we're now on 100 subscribers. Well done, guys. Thank you very much. You know, I've been getting a lot of congratulations messages from people today, and you know, on the channel, comment on the channel, and on, you know, my messenger and all that sort of stuff. So thank you guys. I'm really chuffed, really, you know, really blessed for you. You know, you guys are all subscribed to the channel. You're enjoying what I'm doing, and I'm really enjoying, you know, the feedback and the communication between us all. Chuck a comment on this video and let me know which one you think you like. You know, if I'm right with the tried and trusted original one with just a flock, or the expanding foam, if that looks okay, or, you know, what do you think? If you enjoyed this video, if it's helped you in any way, please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.